Okay, and we are, Paul, we're live, and I'm going to give you the stage for about 5 minutes. I have to leave the studio. So, if you want to introduce yourself, that would be great.
Okay.
So, take it away. You are live in New York City, and you are, from this moment forward, being interviewed. Well, you're being taped. So we're going live. So I'll be back in about 5 minutes. Then I'm going to have 2 minutes to talk to you, and then I'm going to flip the switch, and we're going out to all of Manhattan.
Cool.
Okay. I'll be right back. So you can say or intro anything you like.
All right then, cool. No worries. Hi all. Hi New York. My name is Paul Brighton, aka SiFu Boggie. I am a Tai Chi practitioner. I am a Qigong practitioner. I do Reiki. I do Chinese massage, reflexology. I do many different healing arts, martial arts, and spiritual arts. I am what is known as a Taoist. Tao means the way, the path, or the balance. In China, there are different types of Taoists, but the whole premise of Taoism is that it is finding your own personal unique way or path. So Taoism, a little bit like Qigong, which means energy exercise, Taoism and Qigong are like apps. There's a Tao for everything. So there is a Tao or way for eating, sleeping, making love, or exercise. Everything has its own personal Tao. So in Taoism, there are different styles of Taoists. There is a style called the Barefoot Doctor, which in China traditionally were females, and Taoism likes metaphors. So the metaphor of the Barefoot Doctor is not they were actually barefoot, though some of them were. The Barefoot Doctor used different skills to help heal the patient. And healing was all holistic. So the different skills that a barefoot doctor would use, they would use food, they would use food nutrition, they would use massage, they would use acupuncture, they would use energy work, so Xun Qi Shen, which means flowing energy spirit, similar to Reiki, but actually predated Reiki. They would use different things, and Qigongs are exercises, so they're energy exercises. And different exercises, like I said, they're also like apps. So different exercises do different things. So a barefoot doctor would look at you, would diagnose you, look at your different symptoms, and say, do this Qigong. So you've got a sore back, got Qigong for that. You've got headaches, got Qigong for that. So there are different Qigongs which a barefoot doctor would do, or they would do healing, or they would do the massage, or they could just talk to you. So what would now be called Taoist life coaching. Another type of Taoist was the dragon dog shaman, or Long Fu Jian. And the dragon dog shaman were similar to the barefoot doctor, but they would focus more on the spiritual side.
Okay, Paul.
Yep.
Paul, it's Kirk back in the studio. Everything's good, but we have a slight frozen image, so we're going to try and reboot you, and we're going live in about 2 minutes.
Okay, cool.
So let us. We got your voice. Call back. Okay, the tape is taping.
Was that you or me? I didn't think I touched the phone.
I don't know. We're trying to get you. We're trying to get you back to go live.
Okay, cool.
So.
Click allow. Where is allow? Oh.
Paul can't be reached right now. Here we go. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back.
You're back now.
He has a lightsaber. Okay.
Okay, Master Jedi. So we are. Paul has so much chi energy that. My name's Kirk, and this is my supernatural spiritual television show, and we are live with SiFu Paul Boggie here on the Facebook Hangout. Paul, go ahead and say hello.
Hi all. Hi everybody.
You want to wave the saber? Shakti Namaste. Paul is a Taoist master and a Qigong master. Is that correct?
Yeah, I normally use the word SiFu rather than master, but we can talk about that a little bit.
Okay. And when I came back into the studio, you were talking about shaman. You were talking about. Let's have a little. Well, we're going to go live in 1 minute. So let me just sync up. And if you're watching, you can watch the broadcast live at mnn.org, but you just have to have the computer. It's going to give us a reverb.
Yeah, I've already turned off the speakers.
Oh, okay, perfect. Okay, so let me get on site. Watch. And 30 seconds. Okay, take a deep breath. And 15 seconds. It was a short, unbelievable miracle to make all this happen. Let me tell you. But it all worked, man. Okay, we are live. Boom. Focus the chi. My name's Kirk, and this is my spiritual, supernatural, mystical, and magical, metaphysical show. We are going out live to over 500,000 New Yorkers in Manhattan on cable TV channel 1997 and 1993, and an unlimited audience to interview a SiFu master, Taoist, Qigong master, 5 elements master, and we're going to talk about the history of Taoism. We're going to interview Paul, who is a Taoist master across many disciplines, food, martial arts, and other things. He's going to tell us some more. So let's just introduce Paul. He is from the UK, and he was very kind. We are honored to be in his presence. It is 4 a.m. over in the UK right now, and this is live. It's an unlimited, infinite audience. So let's just open up the psychic portal of love. And here's Paul in the dojo. Paul.
Hi,
say hi to Manhattan, New York City, the world, the universe, and beyond.
Hello, universe. Hello, Manhattan. Hello, New York. Love Chi and Chen from SiFu Boggie. Okay,
so everything looks good. And now I want to access some of the questions. I have known Paul. Let me see. Shucks, for like 5 to 7 years on Facebook. We have been exchanging videos on the Facebook, and I watch his videos. They're always interesting, informative, and fun, and a lot of clarity there. His focus is basically the Tao. What do you want to add to that, Paul? What do you want to tell people? Now, wait, first things first, do you take on students, is that correct?
I do, yes. Yes, I always take on students. I cover different things. The Tao means the way, the path, or the balance. And so the Tao is a little bit like an app, is an application. The Tao, there are different Taos for everything. So a Taoist is someone who balances different skills to find their own personal balance, their own personal way. And that's what I do. So I use Tai Chi, Qigong, which means energy exercise. I use massage. I use reflexology. I use food and nutrition. I use life coaching or Taoist life coaching. I use energy work, so from Japanese style Reiki all the way to the Chinese style, which is Shun Chi Shen and Jing Chi Shen, which are like predate original Reiki. So yeah, the idea is that I use all these different things, and when I come across a student or a client, I focus my skills on that person. So it's a little bit like I'm actually a former chef, and it's a little bit like being a chef, is that if you like certain foods, I focus on, I'll throw those foods together to create a meal suited for you, rather than only saying, you have to have this, this and this. So a SiFu, which means parent teacher or muse, SiFu is somebody who guides. They point you in the direction, rather than masters. Sensei tends to be the Japanese way of, it's more military and it's more telling you what to do. A SiFu guides you in knowledge.
Okay, you froze on the video again. I'm not sure why. I'm going to try and reboot one more time to see, but I think your shin and your chi is so powerful, it's like freezing up the video here.
I'm sorry about that.
That's all right.
I'm trying to turn it down. Can you still hear me, though?
Yeah, I can still hear you. Hang on one second. We're going to...
Nice.
Let me see. I don't know what to do here. Should we try to call again, or this page is exit. Continue. Always. I should have my producers in here right now. But all right, hang on. I'm going to try and reboot again. One more time. Let's see. In the meantime, I'm going to show one of your videos.
Cool.
So right now, as you can see on the screen, this is Paul's YouTube. Hey, we just froze up again.
Yeah, I know. I was watching it.
Oh, okay. Paul, hang on a second. We're gonna try and unfreeze you.
No worries.
Oh wait, he unfroze.
Okay.
You're back. Okay, you're back. Okay, sit tight. We're going to show one of your YouTube videos, a little sample. So here's, this is Paul's YouTube, and it says SiFu, SiFu, that's the sensei or the master. And here's a new series of his, Ki and Char and Rocky. And let's just have a quick look at this. Here we go.
Hello! What is Chi? Or Chi moments. Hi, and welcome to my very first Vor Chi. The Vor Chi series is basically just me and my new iPhone. No fancy effects, not really. Just me, just editing myself, just a simple raw footage. Simple as that. So, War Chi will be a series of very basic, different videos of different either exercises or certain techniques from Taoist theory and Taoist Qigong. So let's start with a basic, what is Chi? Now
Okay, so, as you can see, Paul, you still there?
I'm still here, still alive and kicking.
All right, you froze a little bit on us, so I just guess we're gonna have to get you frozen and unfrozen here. I'm not sure why this is happening, but here comes my producer again to unfreeze us. Now, what is Paul? Well, we're getting you unfrozen. What does a typical day look like for you?
Well, I still have a day job. I do part time, but on my healing days, I do a mixture of teaching students Qigong, which is energy exercises. Also, I teach Tai Chi, which is a style of Qigong. And Tai Chi, if Qigong was music, then Tai Chi would be like classical music. So it's a set of exercises, a whole string of them. So if you ever watched a movie of people in the park in China, or maybe even in your own parks in America, and you see people doing long moving exercises where they're moving about, that tends to be Tai Chi, and where the ones where they're just doing set little exercises, they tend to be Qigong. So I teach those, but I also do healing. So I do Chinese massage, reflexology, and a system called Shundao healing. Flowing way energy. And that's a mixture of acupressure, reflexology, massage, and it works on head, neck, shoulders and back. So I tend to flip between the two, mainly is between the healing and the teaching, but I do coaching as well, so life coaching.
Okay, excellent. Give us 1 second. We're going to try and unfreeze you again.
Okay, no worries.
Didn't you reboot up here?
No. Let's try it. Nope. He's back.
Okay, Paul, can you hear us?
I can still hear you loud and clear.
Okay, if you get frozen again, we're not going to call the producer back. We're just going to have the interview without the movement, I guess.
Yeah, no worries. Well, I'm still here.
There's some kind of connection. I don't know what the problem is. But anyways, okay. So now some of the questions, let's briefly go back all the way to the beginning and talk about Lao Tzu in the 4th century. Now, he's a Taoist master. He's a philosopher. Where does this guy step onto the stage and create this entire... Is Taoism a philosophy or a religion or both?
Both. In China, that question's a little bit more than it would appear. Lao-Tzu wasn't actually the first. There was way before him to actually around about 2,600 years BC was the Yellow Emperor, and the Yellow Emperor talked about people who were at least 2,000 to 5,000 years before him, and they were talked about the people from the high places, and they were the ones who lived in accordance to nature. But it was Lao Tzu's, or Lao Tzu, as it's actually said. He was the guy who actually was the first person to use the word Tao, and the Tao Te Ching was his creation. Now, in philosophy, some people debate whether it was one person or it was several people, because one of the things they say is that it's such a powerful, the Tao Te Ching, the book of power, is such a powerful tool. It's so intriguing. It's got so much information there. Some people doubt that one person could write it. A little bit like another Taoist who was Sun Tzu, who wrote The Art of War, The Art of Strategy. But it was, as I said, it was Lao Tzu who was the first person to actually talk about the Tao. And the reason he wrote the Tao Te Ching was that he was actually giving up on society. He had enough of the way society was back then, and he decided that he was going to leave and go off to the mountains. And a gatekeeper of China recognized who he was and realized that this was a big thing, and he said, before I can let you go, you must write something down. And as he said, that he wrote the Tao Te Ching in that period of time. He wrote the Tao Te Ching, and then he went off on an ox, because he would ride an ox, obviously, being a great sage. He went off on an ox up to the mountains. And the Tao Te Ching is the 3rd most read book in the world. The other two are the Bible and the Quran. So his work is obviously very important, and he set the stage for Taoism in the sense of he actually gave it a label. Though ironically enough, in the first line of it, he says the Tao that can be named is not the true Tao. which is lots of metaphors and lots of twists. And Taoism is this balance, this whole thing about balance between chaos and calmness, or yin and yang. Yin being shady side of the hill, and yang being the sunny side of the hill.
Okay,
And
Paul, hang on. Let me interrupt now, and let's go pick up a modern segue, because I'm not sure how the Tao Te Ching picks up with Star Wars, and also how is it connected to martial arts?
Right. Well, okay, I'll do the martial arts one first. In China, it's notoriously known that Buddhism, Taoism, and Confucianism are the three treasures of China, the three great knowledges, and they're all interwoven. Now, within Taoism, as Taoism means the way, the path, it means that a Taoist is almost like an alchemist. They shape and model your life. They will turn the bad stuff in your life into good. So one of the things in Taoism, or one of the technologies they use, is called the three ones. And there's many different three ones. Well, one of them is called the three M's. And the three M's is a fundamental principle. And the three M's is martial, meditational, and medical. So a Taoist will know the martial art, which is also fitness. So in peacetime, it's about getting fit and healthy. In wartime, it's about about surviving, learning how to fight. The medical is, in peacetime, it's about healing others. In wartime, it's about healing the troops and keeping the troops healthy. And meditational is the spirit side, but it's also the philosophy side. So in wartime, that's strategy, and in peacetime, that is philosophy. So there's always this flip between the yin and the yang, the war and the peace. So a Taoist has all these skills, these technologies. So the reason why Shaolin monks, you see, like the old Shaolin monks, the orange robes, they're Buddhists. So they're Buddhists and they believe in spirituality, but the fundamental was that they learnt the fighting style to stay fit, and this is this balance between the Tao, the yin and the yang, the martial and the spiritual. Now, the whole Star Wars concept, what happens with Star Wars, George Lucas himself, in a good couple of interviews, did say that he used the Eastern philosophies. Now, when you hear Yoda speak, a lot of the things that Yoda are saying are very either Taoist and also Confucianist in nature.
So,
they
okay.
have that Eastern flair.
Now, wait a minute. What about who? Wait, let me interrupt here for 1 second. Let's just who introduces the Force? Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, and well, right, okay. And when they talk about the Force is between the light and the dark side, and so that is the yin and the yang. And what's coming up in the I'm going to give a little bit of information away, but if you're a strong, die-hard Star Wars fan, you'll know that in the future, a new set of Jedi will come along, and they're called Grey Coat, and where they're a mixture of the Jedi and the Sith, the dark side and the light. And their principle, they say, is that you follow the light, but you have to be aware of the dark side to balance, because the dark will always exist. And in essence, then that is what Taoists do. Now, one of the interesting things, the word Jedi comes from the Egyptian word di-Jedi, which means the pillar of light. So very, very quickly, I don't know if I'm still a moving image.
You're not still, Paul, you're kind of frozen again, I got to tell you, but you're coming across brilliantly, so just keep going.
Okay, no worries. Well, I was holding up a lightsaber. A lightsaber is a pillar of light. So there's an interesting metaphor, and the di-Jedi were that they are said to originate or they are strong connected with the Taoists of China, and the di-Jedi of Egypt, they had different exercises, different qigongs that they would practice, and they were the Jedi means the follower or the keeper of the pillar of light. So they kept the light, the knowledge of, universal knowledge, the light, and that they shared it and they looked after it. They were the keepers of it. Now, as I said, they are said to have connections with the Taoists of China. And as I said again, when you hear all about the Force is very much the concept of Taoism, the concept of yin and yang and of qi. Instead of force, we say qi, and the dark and the light is the yin and the yang. And it's funny, as I say, that Taoists, the Jedi carry a lightsaber, and a lightsaber would be the word Jedi, a pillar of light. So, there are, and it was said by George Lucas himself that he did follow Eastern philosophies such as Taoism, Chinese martial arts, and you can see that, especially in the more up-to-date movies, you can see those correspondences. And I said in the future movies, when they start talking about the Grey Code are, in essence, Taoists, because they balance between the dark and the light. They understand that, sometimes in life things go bad, and when things go bad, you focus on the positive and you focus on the up. When things are going well, live in that moment, enjoy that now, enjoy that time.
Okay. Let's just focus here for 1 second. What is how does somebody know how do you become a Taoist master? Like when you take on students or you take on clients, you heal them, you balance them, you instruct them. How did you become a Taoist master? And can you be a Taoist master without taking martial arts?
The martial arts side is a fundamental principle, but it doesn't mean you have to be a fighter. You can love music but not play an instrument. So you can know the fundamentals of the martial arts and use it for the fitness side, yet not be a fighter. So you don't have to do martial arts, but there has been Tai Chi practitioners who have focused very much on the spiritual side. So, no, I don't focus on the martial side. And some of the martial side is actually about the mechanics of the body. So when you ignore the mechanics of the body, so some spiritual practitioners end up injuring themselves because they don't understand the mechanics of the body. So
wait a minute. Let's get some clarity. So if you want to practice Qigong, that's not martial arts.
It can be, but it doesn't have to be. Qigong is an energy exercise. There are exercises for your bad back. There are exercises for your headaches. There are exercises to improve your sport. So I've improved ice hockey players. I'm a former ice hockey player. I've improved soccer players, as you say in the States, tennis players, but also there are Qigongs for business to improve productivity, reduce absenteeism, and there are Qigongs for martial arts. So, you don't have to practice the martial side to practice Qigong or Tai Chi or Taoism.
Okay, and what does it mean? We have about 5 minutes left for our live out call, but after I do the closeout, I'd like you to stay and we'll do a brief closeout that's not live, so don't hang up when I do the closeout. Here's, let me see. How long does it take to become a master in Taoism? Are Taoist masters, are they born? How long have you been studying?
I've been studying for 34 years. Ever since I was around about 11 years old, or nearly 12. The Taoist principle, you're always learning. So this thing of master is that you can master something, but there's always something new to learn. So there are, to learn different, there are exercises that I can teach you in 5 minutes. I can, and I have videos where I can teach online, where I show a video, then I speak to you like on Skype, on a Google Hangout, and we'll go through. I get you to record it, and I can work out what you're doing right or wrong. So the things I can teach you in 5 minutes, but it could take you 10 years to master it. So master is this interesting word that is not necessarily the right one, because mastering something is to fully and totally understand it. But to teach certain things, there are certain things you can become a teacher within Taoism, within Qigong and Tai Chi, within a few years. The healing, so like I also do acupressure and Chinese massage. That can take a little bit longer. But it's all up to you. It's all up to how quickly you learn. That's the point of Taoism. There is no race. There is no time limit. It's up to the individual.
Okay, but is this like something where you accrue power lifetime after lifetime? Something to that effect? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, say I want to be, I want to be a powerful Taoist master. So what does the powerful Taoist master do? What are they? What is the ultimate power for a Taoist master? Why do we study this lifetime after lifetime after lifetime?
Because this universe, this whole reality is all about exploring. Is all about understanding. The Tao, the way, is finding your own personal way that suits you. So one of the other principles of the Tao is little and often. So daily practice. If you was to let's say an easy one for me. If you practice half an hour every day of ice skating, within a year, if you did that every time for half an hour every day for a year, after a year you'd be really good at ice skating, far more in some ways than you would if you practice for 4 hours once a week, because little and often builds up in your body. Everything you learn is all about muscle memory, and it's all about mind memory.
Does the Tao hold the tenet of reincarnation or no?
Yes.
So,
yes.
Okay, let me ask you this. I have a study deck of oracle cards that teaches you the Tao, the philosophical things of the Tao, and then one of the cards says you are guided, guarded, and protected by one of the most powerful deities in all of Taoism. So,
technically, the Tao on that side, especially in the Lao Tzu's book, the Tao Te Ching, is that everyone and everything is the Tao. So you are your own creator. You are within this reality, within this realm. You are your own god or goddess. You have if you believe you're unlucky, then you will be unlucky. If you believe that no matter what you can make it, then you will. Whatever you believe is true. So, Taoism, on one side, Taoism is very much about everything is its own creator. Everything has the ability to create.
Paul, we're running out of time. I got one last question before we close out for our live audience. Can the Tao actually be explained, or does it have to be transmitted from a master to a student? It's transmitted psychically and spiritually. Like in Buddhist mysticism, the Bodhisattva will give a transmission to somebody and give them enlightenment. Is there such a thing in Taoism?
Yes, but also in Buddhism and Taoism, you have to feel it, you have to do it, and you have to see it. But doing it in Buddhism would be yoga. In Taoism, it's Taoist yoga, but it's also Qigong. and different exercises. The feeling it would be meditation and understanding the philosophy, and the seeing it, that would be like Reiki, like an empowerment, a download. So that can come from a SiFu, a fellow SiFu, or it can come from the universe itself. But it has to be the three things. You have to physically do exercises to build up that energy. You have to stretch the body, and you also have to stretch the mind through meditation, and you also have to have these spiritual downloads. So it's more than one thing.
Okay, Paul, that's it for our live audience. Let me just say I'd like to thank everybody in New York City, Manhattan, America, the world, the UK, the galaxy, the universe, and beyond for watching. I'd like to thank my guest for being so gracious to get up at 4 a.m. in the UK and be interviewed and answer our questions. And Paul is an easy guy to find. If you'll look at your screen right here, I'm going to show you. This is Paul's Facebook page right here. And if you want to take Paul as a teacher and sign up, you can check him out at the Facebook here. And also, we saw some of Paul's videos tonight. So that's going to wrap it up from New York and the UK. And we only scratched the surface. I'd like to invite Paul. I'd like to invite you back for a second time.
I would love to come back.
And
awesome.
Hopefully our chi won't be so powerful as to like freeze the frame. But we do have your two lightsabers in the corner here on the frozen image.
The two Jedis of light, yep.
The two pillars of light. What would you like to say in closing? Any wisdom? You know, what's your wisdom in closing? And then we will have to close it out.
The Tao is in the now. Live in your moments. Breathe in energy, positivity. Breathe in the chi. Breathe out cha, the stress and worry, your negativity. If you can just do that alone, you're doing a meditation. You're doing a qigong. Live in the now. Breathe in the chi. Breathe out the cha. Simple.
Okay, so Paul's, if you want to see more Paul, and I know you do, his videos they're fun, they're informative, and they're to the point, and there's a lot of laughs in them too, which is a good thing. It's a lot of fun, and he pulls you in and involves you and explains things like Qi and Shar Qi, the Tang Mian, the Tang Dian, and talks about the lightsabers and makes it accessible. So you're going to want to check out Paul's YouTube as well. And it's Paul's. What's the name of the YouTube? SiFu Boggie?
Yeah, SiFu Boggie, all one word. SiFu BOGGIE.
Hang on, I'm going to pull that up for our audience, and then Paul, look, you're not going to be able to see this, but this is me saying namaste, and I am bowing to your presence as a master in many lifetimes. Shakti, namaste. I'm sending you love, light, and healing. I don't know, final comments, and then we got to go. They're closing the studio here.
Okay, no worries. Well, everyone and everything is your SiFu. So learn from everything. Love, Chi and Shen, SiFu Boggie.
All right, Paul. Namaste. And we will chat soon on the Facebook. And this episode will be online within 24 hours.